Outside of North Carolina Technical College, an overflow crowd waits for a candidate who's facing perhaps the toughest week of his campaign. It's about 10:20 in the morning here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Barack Obama is scheduled to arrive any minute. It's less than 24 hours after his speech on race in America, and clearly his campaign is hoping today to move on. He's scheduled to speak about Iraq. The crowds here have already assembled. They've been waiting now for about an hour. They're kept back by barricades. Most of these people won't even be able to get in to hear him speak, but they just wanted to come in order to catch a glimpse of the candidate. Security is tight. Obama has a high level of Secret Service protection. He arrives a few minutes behind schedule, but makes sure to greet his supporters outside. He tells us he's unsure how yesterday's speech will play out on the campaign trail today.
I think it obviously had an impact. People are talking, and that was one of my main objectives, was to try to lay bare some of the tensions that aren't just in this campaign, but have been in this country for generations now.
Do you think it's been too much of a distraction, this whole controversy?
Well, my sense is that sooner or later it was going to come up. I wish it could have come up in a more calmer way. I think it nevertheless serves a purpose, and hopefully the American people will benefit from the debate.
The debate on race is a complicated one for a senator who says he never wanted to make race front and center in his campaign. Now he's working to make sure it doesn't eclipse everything else. This is actually a pretty small venue for Barack Obama to be speaking, and there's probably only 200 or so people in this crowd, but this is less a campaign event for Barack Obama to win over new voters. This is really an event for the media. He's trying to get his message out, trying to be seen speaking about Iraq today, trying to show that the conversation has moved on from the controversy over Reverend Wright. Whether or not it actually has remains to be seen. The speech on Iraq lasts about 45 minutes, and then Senator Obama is once again on the move. At the airport, Obama has to wait as reporters and photographers scramble to load their equipment on his waiting 737. Next stop, Charlotte, North Carolina. The Obama campaign has been using this plane since New Hampshire. About 40 members of the press have made it their home. Senator Obama sits at the front of the aircraft, understandably surrounded by his advisors and his security people. Most of the traveling press corps sit in the back of the aircraft. One of the things that they try to do is constantly feed you, we've noticed. I guess one of the easiest ways to keep reporters happy is to keep them well fed. So this is actually our second lunch of the day. Sandwiches, a cookie, even some potato chips. The atmosphere is surprisingly loose. There's music playing, personal photos taped to overhead luggage bins. When we land, we're not surprised to find Senator Obama working, but what he's working on does surprise us. Everyone back there is kind of thinking you're writing out another speech or something, and here you are doing an NCAA tournament.
A little higher priority.
How do you see this playing out? I mean, how long do you expect to be doing this?
You mean the campaign?
Yeah.
We know that the last contest that's scheduled is in early June. And I thought that actually Governor Bredesen of Tennessee had an interesting proposal, which was as soon as we finish with the last primary, the superdelegates should schedule to get together, whatever remaining ones are uncommitted, and go ahead and make a decision. That would probably be the best way to ensure that there's at least a couple of months before the convention.
So you don't see any knockout punch in terms of popular vote in a primary?
I don't anticipate at this point. I mean, Senator Clinton has been very tenacious. We feel very confident that we're going to have won more states. We'll have a higher portion of the popular vote, and I think we're going to have more pledged delegates. But there's nothing in the rules that say she can't continue on as long as she wants to.
All right, we ready to go? Who's introducing me?
In Charlotte, the crowd is bigger, and Senator Obama clearly feeds on their energy. The themes are familiar: change, Iraq, the economy, but perhaps the biggest applause he receives is when he mentions his speech on race. Afterwards, we speak with him backstage. Earlier today, you said you weren't sure demographically how your speech yesterday is going to play. What is your gut telling you? I mean, out there, you were talking about it, got a lot of applause. What's your gut telling, more than 24 hours now later?
I mean, my gut tells me that the people who were not going to be voting for me are not going to be voting for me after this speech, and even if they think that I made some good points, There are other reasons why they're not going to vote for me. They think we should be staying in Iraq, or they think that I haven't been in Washington long enough. I think the people who are supporting me are continuing to support me.
At the end of a day like this, I mean, what do you do? How do you decompress?
Well, you know, I'm going to really have a relaxing evening going to a couple of fundraisers. and then I fall asleep. Although I try to watch AC 360 at all times.
Oh yeah, please. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need you pandering.